Anora Mikheeva, better known as Ani, is a 23-year-old stripper living in Brighton Beach, a Russian-American neighborhood in Brooklyn. Her boss introduces her to Ivan Vanya Zakharov, the young son of a wealthy Russian oligarch, Nikolai Zakharov, because Vanya specifically requested someone who speaks and understands Russian. Vanya is in the US to study, but he'd rather party and play video games in his family's Brooklyn mansion. Vanya hires Ani for multiple encounters and pays her $15,000 to stay with him for a week. Later, he and his entourage fly to Las Vegas, where he impulsively proposes to Ani. Despite her doubts, Vanya insists his love is real, and they elope at a Vegas wedding chapel. Ani quits her job and moves into his mansion. When news of their marriage reaches Russia, Vanya's mother, Galina, orders his Armenian godfather, Toros, to track them down and arrange an annulment while she and her husband fly to the US. Toros sends his men, Garnik and Igor, to the mansion. They inform Vanya that his parents are taking him back to Russia, and they enrage Ani by calling her a prostitute, claiming Vanya only married her to get a green card so he wouldn't have to return home and work for his father. Vanya runs off while Ani fights Garnik and Igor, injuring them and wrecking furniture, but they manage to tie her up. When Toros arrives, he lectures Ani about Vanya's immaturity, takes her wedding ring, gags her, and offers her $10,000 to accept the annulment. Ani insists that she and Vanya are truly in love, but ultimately agrees to help Toros find him. Ani, Toros, Garnik, and Igor spend the night driving around Brooklyn searching for Vanya. Ani's friends tell her he's at her old strip club with another dancer. When they get there, they find Vanya too drunk to listen, forcing them to wait outside the courthouse overnight. The next day, the judge throws out the annulment because Ani and Vanya were married in Nevada. At the airport, Ani introduces herself to Nikolai and Galina in Russian, but Galina immediately dismisses her. Vanya gives in to his parents and coldly tells Ani their marriage isn't going to work, while Galina orders everyone onto their private jet to Las Vegas. Ani, having never signed a prenup, threatens to drag Vanya through a divorce, but Galina warns that she'll destroy her life if she tries. Finally, realizing Vanya's immaturity and the extent of his family's power, Ani agrees to the annulment. After signing the papers, Igor suggests that Vanya should apologize to Ani, but Galina refuses, saying her son doesn't apologize to anyone. Furious, Ani insults both Vanya and Galina before storming off. Igor drives Ani back to New York so she can pack up her things. While spending one last night in the Zakharov mansion, Igor tries making small talk with Ani. Upset by their first encounter, she accuses him of assaulting her and claims he would have raped her if they had been alone, which he denies. In the morning, Igor hands Ani the money Toros promised her and drives her home. On the way, he gives her back the wedding ring as a goodwill gesture. Ani initiates sex with Igor but stops when he tries to kiss her, then breaks down sobbing in his arms. The conclusion of Anora is both bittersweet and poignant. After being swept into a whirlwind romance with Vanya, Ani is ultimately forced to confront the harsh realities of his immaturity and his family's overwhelming power. Despite her initial defiance, she agrees to the annulment, realizing that fighting the Zakharovs would only bring her more pain. As she prepares to leave, Igor, one of the enforcers sent to separate her from Vanya, surprises her by showing an unexpected sense of compassion. He returns her wedding ring as a small token of goodwill, signaling that not everyone in Vanya's world is entirely heartless. In a moment of vulnerability, Ani initiates a brief, impulsive encounter with Igor but breaks down when he tries to kiss her, overwhelmed by everything she has been through. Instead of pushing forward, Igor simply holds her as she sobs, giving her space to grieve the loss of the illusion she had held onto. The movie ends with Ani reclaiming her independence. Though she has lost her chance at wealth and security, she has also freed herself from a toxic and manipulative world. As she steps back into her old life, there is a sense of quiet resilience. Ani may have been broken down, but she is not defeated. The film leaves her future open-ended, emphasizing her strength and survival rather than offering a neat, fairy tale ending.